My name is Morgan Ellis and I hate winter. Let me say that again. I hate winter. I'm always so cold, the house never seems warm enough, and I wrap myself in blanket burritos constantly. So I thought of this amazing idea. I was going to knit myself a blanket. I was first introduced to knitting at the young age of 8 years old, when my Nana used to knit things for me, and she wanted to teach me how, and willingly, I wanted to learn. My first knitting was that I knitted a dishcloth, and there were so many mistakes, but since then I have not knitted anything. My Nana is now 92 years old and can no longer knit, so I thought it would be nice if I could show her my final knitting project of knitting a blanket that will keep me warm in the winter. At first I went out and bought the yarn that I wanted to use, and I also bought new knitting needles. I researched how to knit a blanket, and the first video that I found was creating a blanket by knitting squares and sewing them all together into one big piece. Once I knitted 3 squares, I sewed them together and realized that it looked horrible. Take note, I am quite a bit of a perfectionist, and I wanted to redo it. So I YouTubed some more videos and found one that showed me how to knit a blanket with round knitting needles. So these knitting needles have a thin piece of plastic tubing that connects them together, and it allows you to create a really long piece of, or long width of fabric, so that you can knit the blanket as a whole piece rather than patching them together so you don't see the seams. This was a huge setback for me in my genius hour because I was starting from scratch basically. I had to redo everything that I had spent knitting and redo it using these new knitting needles. So I've not knitted a whole lot since that setback happened because I'm trying to focus on making this blanket with very little mistakes, and that means really concentrating on it. So when I first started, I wasn't really concentrating when I was knitting. I was very distracted by watching TV shows or doing other things, multitasking while knitting, so there were quite a few mistakes. And I haven't really figured out a simple way to fix those mistakes. So it's been difficult for me to be quick at knitting without making mistakes this far. So these are some of the challenges that I've faced throughout knitting, and I have learned that this knitting experience is not easy. It's not easy to relearn how to knit. Right now I'm doing the basic knitting stitch, which is called the garter stitch. But there are a lot more difficult knitting stitches that I would like to learn in the future, but for my first project I think this is a good goal to have, to just start from the beginning and kind of relearn what I learned back when I was 8 years old, which was like 12 years ago. So it's a long time, a lot of things to remember since then. I also wanted to talk just quickly about what I see for my knitting in the future. So I do want to see myself knitting more projects such as like mittens or hats or scarves, and my dream would be to eventually sell these items on some kind of a website in the future just for fun, or just giving them as gifts to my family, because I think that homemade things are really awesome, and when I do eventually finish knitting my blanket, it will be so worth it because I'm going to be able to stay warm in the winter, which is what I wanted, and it's going to be made by me, which is even cooler. I don't have any artifact or any of my knitting to show you because I don't have it here with me, but I have come a little far. I mean, my blanket's about this big, so it doesn't really cover anything on my body yet, maybe my feet, but I'm working towards making it bigger and better and not making many mistakes in it. And I hope that I can show my Nana this and that she will be proud of my creation and not pick it apart and notice all of the mistakes that I've made so far. So that's why I'm trying to take my time to make it perfect with very little mistakes, so that she will be proud of me and I will be proud of myself to have this blanket to keep me warm in the winter, as I am notoriously cold through the winter months and even the summer months. So a blanket will be great for me. So I hope that through this project I can inspire my future students to pursue something that they really enjoy doing or what they have enjoyed doing in the past and haven't really had time to do. This project has allowed me to really explore knitting again and kind of get in touch with my youthful side and to really learn more about it, because with school and everything I haven't had time to do something fun that's for me. So this project has kind of made me work on doing something fun or relaxing that I enjoy doing. So I am thankful for this project because it gives me time to do something other than what seems like real homework. So anyways, that is my TED Talk on my blanket, and I hope that I finish it soon because the winter is coming. Thanks for watching.